again. In the last episode, we were about to call it a day and find a place to sleep. So our first campsite is in Thakgil. It's a 16-kilometer deviation north from the ring road, and the navigator says it takes 40 minutes to get there. What? Thakgil is a canyon in Katla Geopark, which covers 9% of Iceland. The 1500-meter Katla is one of Iceland's most active volcanoes. It sleeps under a 200 to 700 meter thick glacier, and in the past it has woken up a couple of times in a century. The latest rude awakening was just before noon on Saturday, October the 12th in 1918. Just a few minutes after the eruption started, about 300,000 tons of water per second was flowing to the sea. The eruption lasted for over 3 weeks. Last steam was seen arising on November the 4th. Ever since, the beast has been dormant, which means more than a century already. A short break in Katla Geopark parking lot. I bet all that was underwater during the flood. And the 40-minute mystery solved. The road is not for the faint-hearted. It's winding black sand, single lane, very hilly, and really steep at places.
No problem.
This must be one of the most magical places I've ever been to. Straight from the Lord of the Rings. At the time we were driving here, at least I had no idea what is sleeping next door. Can't help imagining living here all year round. I would probably develop a serious insomnia. Let's spend a few moments in Middle-earth. There's a cave here where you can cook and grill. just had to see where we are. Several trails are available from up there, and no need to bring your hammock. I think part of the water runs a generator in this hut, powering the campsite facilities. How handy is that? I wonder how that excavator came here. I bet it took more than 40 minutes. Where does this path lead to? I would have no trouble drinking that water from the glacier. Now where is that troll when I need a photo? I had to Google this bird. Can't see those in Finland, unless I'm mistaken. If you think you know what this bird is, feel free to write it in the comments. Good morning. Let's drive back to the ring road. random sheep were grazing all over the area, how on earth do they gather the herd for the winter? Or do they? This is a particularly tricky spot with a steep 170-degree right turn. To the left there's a drop way too steep and no rails anywhere. I was lucky to have two skillful drivers with me. How do I know that? Well, they have no trouble beating me at dirt rally. With a normal two-wheel drive van, you need even more skill. In the winter, I would not venture here with a two-wheel drive vehicle. On to the next waterfall, Svartifoss, which is one of the most beautiful in Iceland. It is south of Vatnajökull, which is the biggest glacier in Iceland, under which several volcanoes are hiding. Average ice thickness is 380 meters, with a maximum of just under 1 kilometer. A short rest at Hundafoss along the Svartifoss 2-kilometer long trail. That is where the water is coming from. Although the elevation gain of the trail is just under 150 meters, I felt quite exhausted until I saw a woman returning from the waterfall with crutches. And here we are. The explanation why these columns are hexagonal is fascinating, but doesn't belong here. Look it up if you're interested. This is also called the Black Waterfall. One of the most famous displays of these columns is the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. The architect who designed the biggest church in Reykjavik was inspired by these columns, as you will see later. Well, it's time for lunch. But where? Find out next time. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.